Today I'm going to talk about the 3 keys to natural Irish pronunciation. So this is going a bit beyond basic spelling rules and basic pronunciation rules and talking a bit more about how words are pronounced together and how sentences are pronounced. So to start with, how many syllables are in these 2 phrases? I won't read them aloud just yet, but we can have a look at the poll results where I asked the same question. So on Tumblr, I asked how many syllables are in this phrase. And a large majority said that there were 7 syllables, right? And this makes sense. If you go based on my last video talking about spelling and you just work out the pronunciation from there, you'd go ka, he, me, e, a, yanov. And that would give you 7. But that's not how it's said. So if you listen to someone saying this phrase, especially if they're talking at a natural speed, they're not slowing themselves down, what you're likely to hear is 4. Kahe, me, yanov. So this me, e, and all get merged together. Now if we look at the second phrase, I can play you a clip. So you hear in this clip 4 or 5 syllables, depending on how many you count for the first verb. But me and a are merged together, so you get kahe, me, sho, reitoch. So sho and are also merged together. This is really common in Irish, so this is rule number 1, vowels running together. There's no pauses in between the vowels. They run together. Next, I want to talk about overpronunciation. So this is something that happens a lot for learners of any language, but they tend to overstress minor words and pronounce them with too much detail. So, for example, in English, I would say, I want to do the thing. Or more likely, I want to do the thing. But a learner might say, I want to do the thing. And so they might overpronounce the to and the here. And you get the same thing in Irish. So rather than saying bhvala murad yanov, you might hear someone saying bavalum anrod a yanov. And they're giving these minor words too much stress, especially their vowels. So there's this name for a very relaxed central vowel called the schwa. This is just a linguistics word for it. But basically, it's the vowel that you make when your mouth is doing nothing. It's just very neutral. And it's really common in English, and it's really common in Irish as well. And so in these grammar words, like egg, in this specific context, when it's before a verbal noun, when you have an ing, right? So like I'm working, tá mé gobid.
Mar tá mé gobid, agus baig ceann cupúir a chuige.
This is not tá mé ag obid. This becomes ug obid. It can be pronounced as egg when you're using it as a normal preposition, right? So if you're using it with another noun, you're saying eg shoppe at the shop. Then you get it as egg. But when you're using it in this ing context, I am working, I am doing, I am saying, it's pronounced with a schwa, so you get tá mé gobid. And then of course, because of rule 1, you don't get tá mé and then a pause. It just gets merged together. So you get tá mé gobid.
Tá mé gobid.
Now this happens with a lot of these smaller, what I call grammar words. Really, it's any kind of word which is short and isn't a content word. So there's no long vowel in it, and it's not like a noun, an adjective, etc. So you have a short list of examples here. Ba, us, the, na, sa, ma, sna, ga. And it's kind of hard to pronounce them as unstressed when you're saying them on their own, but in sentences it's much easier. So this is rule 2. Grammar words are unstressed, and our example here, tá mé gobid. Continuing on with the theme of overpronunciation, I'm going to go even more in depth with egg and with meaning the.
Tá mai ceapa go nearna mám dearmad ar a grinniú.
So with both of these, what you get is the consonant at the end of them can be dropped. So an egg, again, when it's used as a verbal noun for doing or saying, in this case thinking, the G is dropped. So instead of tá mé egg kappa, you get tá mé kappa. And so when we apply these rules, the N is also dropped in between consonants, right? So we have grinu, there's consonants here on either side of it. And so rather than saying grinu, which breaks up the flow and is much harder to say, the N just tends to get dropped out entirely. So you get grinu. So putting this all together, you have this.
Tá mai ceapa go nearna mám dearmad ar a grinniú.
And so that's our rule 3. Drop the end of and egg. Egg only when used with a verbal noun before consonants. So tá mai ceapa go nearna mám darúd ar a grinniú. And together, these are our 3 keys. So first of all, vowels run together. Second of all, grammar words are unstressed. And third of all, you drop the end of and egg before consonants. And we can listen to some more examples here, and I want you to try and think about which of the rules you can see in action.
Sadie, tá mar sé déanam mo díhal.
Could you mata Charlie, John?
As of being, we should go to the Soul a bhachan.
Cé chuí gur is sad sa gur istíon seo bhí me?
Ag dtíinear, trúr an héana bheith sánacha.
Mamó, neachta ag meang fós.
Well, ní mar ans go bear inne.
Nis, go dtí ála tú?
Spare me Chuck Gavin.
Funny, yes, I'm a chlushant.
Cá mu dáir éis.